this is Sheila Peters, and we're about to do a stretch body awareness class. We're going to start on our hands and knees. So let's go onto the mat, knees under the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, and let's just take a drop down with our belly, so our tailbone's sticking up, and we're getting an arch through that spine. And from here, let's just go back into a neutral position and reverse it. So now we're going into a cat position, but we're really working with that lower spine, not the upper spine. Trying to make that lower spine do the work. Push through, going into that arch. And the rest of your spine will reflect what's happening in that lower spine. And then come back up to your cat. So the head will reflect what's happening with that lower spine. And we have 2 more sets, pushing through. So we're really stretching in that lower back area. And come back up into your cat position. And repeat one more time. And push. Good. And release. Up. Good. From here, let's just swing the hips to the side. So we're like wagging our tail. Hips go out and shift to the other side. So we're just moving through the hips and that lower back to start to warm up. This is the area that seems to get really tight here in the Northeast during the winter, especially with the cold, and then maybe some shoveling that some of us have to do. And shift. Good. Now we're going to take some circles with those hips. So we're going to drop the belly down, push the hips over to the side. So we're going to push them to the back first, and then come up with that cat position, and then push the hips over to the opposite side. So we're going into your slight cow there, and then pushing the hips over to the side, lifting up with that lower back and around. So we're kind of creating a nice circle with those hips. So we have 2 more in this direction, to the side, up, as the lower back goes up and the hips go down, and side, drop, hips go up, and then we're going over to the side, lifting up with the lower back as the hips go down and side. And let's reverse that. So once again, hips go up, and we have the belly down, and we're going now over to the side, dropping those hips down and going over to the side. And your lower back is going to reflect this. And hips go up as the belly goes down, dropping over to the side, going down. So we get into that cat, over to the side, and we have 2 more. So we're really working through that hip and lower back area. Good. Over to the side, and hips go up. Last time, and once more. Over to the side. Good. Drop it down, and to the side, and lift. Good. Let's come to the neutral position and drop back into child's pose for just a moment. Heads go down. Take a deep breath in and reach that front arm out. So you're stretching the rib cage area and the under armpit area, and release. Other side, deep breath in. Exhale, reach the back arm way out there and release. Let's take that once more in each direction. Breath in. Exhale, reach. Good. And release. And breath in. Exhale as you reach the back arm out. Good. And come back to neutral. From here, we're going to roll up through that spine, ripple through the spine, walk the hands forward a little bit, and now we're really dropping the hips down. As the head comes up, the hips are down, we're getting a good arch through that back and opening up the front spine. And going into your cow, sticking the hips back, allowing that back to ripple and come back into a cat-like position, and then back into your child's pose. Repeat. Cat up, hips down, ripple, push through. Really push the hips down, heads come up, and arc. Sticking the hips up, going into the cow, rippling back, allowing the hips to follow the flow of this motion, and allow the spine to reflect what's happening with those hips. So hips go under, lift, ripple the spine, push the hips down, heads come up. Increasing that stretch, you might get a chiropractic appointment. adjustment there. And then come back with the hips lifting up, arcing through all the way down, drop, and child's pose. And let's take that once more. So hips are down as the lower back comes up. You can inch the fingers forward more if you want. Ripple through that spine. Hips drop down, reach, lift, and arc. Then you really have gotten a much more bigger range of motion here in this arc. And then arching, letting the hips go back as you lift them up, drop, and come down. Excellent. And now let's roll up through the spine here as you're in the sitting position. If this sitting position is uncomfortable for you, you might find that you want to get a bolster or a pillow that you put the legs on either side with. So now the hands are going to be on the thighs there. And again, we're working with that lower back. Kind of a thing here. So deep breath in. As you exhale, tilt the hips up towards your head so your lower back is going into that curve there. Engage the abdominals. You might feel a little stretch in your thighs here. Push through, arc, and come up. Let's take that again. And roll, push, back. Engaging the abdominals, feeling that lower back, going to the back of the room as the hips are tilting up. And now we push, and the hips are going to tilt to the back as you go into that arc. Again, allowing this rest of the spine to ripple, so that you really are manipulating that spine, articulating that spine, coming back up. And we have one more. Using your breath, you can exhale as you push the hips under and get that lower back to the back of the room. And coming in, arc, breathe. Good. Now from here, let's slide out. And we're going to swing the back leg forward in between the legs and push forward enough and slide that back leg back enough that you do feel this stretch here in this front hip there. So we're going to just rock back and forth, starting to get involved into the hamstring of the front leg. So we're pushing the hips back, getting the spine long along that leg and straightening that leg, and we feel a stretch in the hamstring, but we're really still, again, working with hips going back. And I want you to notice what happens in that lower back. It should be flattening out. Now, as we come forward and press the hips forward and lift our spines up a little bit more with our hands there, we can feel that this is getting more of a stretch on that front hip there. Let's repeat that. Push back, lengthen, hips go back, heads go down, foot points as it comes off the floor. As you straighten that leg and come through. Again, you got to ripple through that spine, push and come upright. See how far up you can get. Let's repeat that 2 more times. Push back, lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the hips, folding from the hip flexors as that front hip goes back. Push through, ripple, and along the line there with that spine. And if you can, come up so that you're putting your hands on the thigh right above the knee there. So you really feel that stretch through the hip area and you get a little curve in that spine. Okay, hands down, push back all the way. How far back can you get? If your leg is not completely straight, that's okay, but that's what we're aiming for. Good, coming through, ripple, push, hands coming up to the knee and lift. Now from here, let's take a nice deep breath in as the hip keeps going forward. We're going to push with our hands to arc our spine back a little bit more. Deep breath in. As we exhale, our chest is coming towards the ceiling. Heads come up. There might be some of a balance challenge here for you. Really opening up that front hip. Good. Come back down. Let's bring this leg back. Come back into child's pose and just notice how that hip that was in the back, one that we were working on here, is feeling compared to the other one. And then let's come on up and let's swing the other leg in front and take this whole series to the other side. So here we are, we've got that back hip being nice and stretched and we're pressing forward so we can feel that with our hips. And now we're going to aim our hips back, folding at the hip flexor, trying to straighten that front leg This first time, you might not come to a complete straight leg. And then manipulating the hips forward, undulating through the spine, coming to a forward position, and maybe you can press up into your hands, into your fingers, really trying to let the upper body come up a little bit. Okay, pushing back. Feel the hip going back. We're sticking those hips back, lengthening through that lower back as we lengthen through the leg. Foot might be pointing. And getting a hamstring stretch here. And then again, press the hips forward, undulate through the spine. Trying to build some flexibility in that spine and that hip. Coming up right, all the way up. Good. And press back. Lengthen all the way back. Shoulders down, elbows loose. And last time, coming forward, push. Manipulate through. Let's put our hands on our thigh, just above that knee. Press that hip forward, shoulders are down. Let's take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're pushing with our hands to bring our chest up towards the ceiling. Head goes back, hip is deeply pressed towards the floor on that back leg. And lift and open. Good. Coming back down. Let's bring that leg behind us and go back into child's pose. So both hips now should feel like they're equally stretched out in the front. And you might find that you're a little farther over into your child's pose. Good. Let's roll up through the spine. So we really warm the spine up. Hands come behind you. And we're again going to make the focal point be the hips as we press up into a bridge. So from here, elbows are bent. Heads are loose, deep breath in. As we exhale, we push the hips up. Our hands will support us. We're trying to open up the arc there. So you're going to be working through the thighs, knees go down. So you may feel a stretch in the thighs, but we're trying to really push those hips up. And then lower and come back to a neutral position. Deep breath in. Exhale, push those hips up. Arc, lift. Good. And lower, and release. Take 2 more, deep breath in. Exhale, pushing through those hips. You may find that you get a little farther up, and if you want to, you could bring your hands a little closer to your feet to increase that arc up into the bridge. And then come down, and breathe. Last time, deep breath in. Exhale, pushing those hips up. Reach, lift, way up there. How far can you move those hips up, keeping the knees down and arcing into that spine? Excellent. And come down. Excellent. Okay, let's come back to a neutral position, hands and knees, and let's just get into a little bit more of a stretch in the lower part of our leg, using the flexibility we created in the hips. Swing that back leg forward once again, stretching that knee back. So here we are in our familiar position. We're going to curl the toe under and come into a lunge. Now we're going to roll forward through the foot. So we're going to the toes there. We're keeping the toes on the floor, but we're feeling a stretch through that lower bottom part of the foot, and then rock back and press into the heel. So you may get a little bit of a stretch in your Achilles. Let's continue, push through. This whole time we're still pressing through the hip and getting a stretch in that hip and press back. 2 more, roll it forward to the toes and press it back. Excellent. And once more, roll it forward to the toes and press it back. So we're pressing the heel back. Excellent. Good. Come to a neutral position. Drop the knee down. Let's slide this leg back and replace it with the other leg and go into the other side. So we're sliding the back knee out so we can really feel the stretch on the front of that back hip. Curl the toes under and come up into your lunge. We're going to rock forward into the balls of our feet and push back and press into the heels. Repeat, roll, press to the toes and push back. Feel that press through the heel, trying to maintain a straight leg, and roll. Hips still getting some work there, and push it back, press. Excellent. And last time, roll it, coming forward, and press it back, and stretch right to the back of that heel. Good. Come to neutral position, knee down, release, toes, and come back into your hands and knees position. And now we're going to do a little more hip opening exercise here. We're going to start with that front hip. So we're going to lift that leg up, and we have a 90 degree angle there. And we're going to rotate the knee so it's open. Good. Now we're going to push back. So we're opening the hips by getting a bit of a curve there in our spine. We're pushing the hips back. And now we're going to bring the knee towards the shoulder, holding onto the abs. Knee comes in. And push it to the back. Breathe. Opening up those hips. Good. Coming back to the shoulder. Here we go. We've got two more. So there's some core work that's happening here too. Reach it to the back. Excellent. And come in. Knee to the shoulder. Trying to keep it level. And open. Stretch. And reach it behind. Beautiful. Coming in. We've got one more to the shoulder. Here we go with that knee. Excellent. And then come back to your neutral position. Rotate so it's up and down, and bring that leg in. Let's right away go to the other side. So we're going to lift the other leg up to the 90 sort of degree position. Open the leg out. And now we're pushing the toe back, the whole hip back. You're going to maybe feel this in your glutes. We're pushing and stretching and getting that diagonal curved stretch through our spine. Knee comes to the shoulder. Here we go. Keeping it level, knee goes into the shoulder. And reaching it back once again. Opening up through that whole hip area. Reach it behind you. The glutes may be getting some work there. And come into the knee to the shoulder position. Nice and smooth. We've got two more. Here we go. Push it, reach it, make it go to the back. As far back as you can get. Excellent. Coming to the front. Bringing that knee into the shoulder. And last time, breathe, push. Feel that way out there with that foot, opening up that hip area. And then coming back, last time, knee to the shoulder, holding on to the abs. Core work is happening here too. And then come back to your neutral position, realign that foot, and then come back into your hands and knees position. Let's go back into child's pose. Heads down. And roll up. Okay, let's face front. And we're going to just sort of stretch out the glutes a little bit by allowing our hips to go to the side. And we can feel a stretch that happens on the side of the body there, but also in the glutes. Up and over. And repeat. And over. Really sort of enjoy this and allow yourself to utilize this as a little integrator here for some of the work that we've been doing. Push out. Up. And over. Beautiful. Up. And over. And lift. And over. Good. Coming up right. Let's now sit with our legs in a folded position. We've got one leg in front, the other behind it, and we've got the divine flesh out, and we're not trying to hunch those feet in there. So we've got an ability to be able to really stack the spine up. And let's just take some side body stretches, allowing the hips to ease out a little bit from what we've just were doing. So hand comes down, elbow goes down, reach the arm over, way out there, feeling that stretch on the side body as that hip stays down. Good, coming up and over, we're going to swing over and take it to the other side. Keeping the opposite hip on the floor. Way out with that arm. Repeat, up, over, and stretch. And lift, up, and stretch. Now, let's curve above the waist. So we're folding from the hip flexors around and going over to the side. I'm going to take this a number of times. So what I want you to feel as you engage the abdominals is what's happening in that lower spine as we move from side to side. And we're trying to maintain our hips both on the floor. So here we go. Let's go back over to your right side, swinging, letting that head be nice and loose. So we're really, again, working on that lower spine area. And reach. Excellent. Coming up right. Now let's take our left hand, place it at the back of that knee there, just above the knee. And let's take the other hand and reach the arm forward, lift. Now we're pressing with this hand and twisting. Once you've got the hand behind there, put the hand on the floor and really see if you can press even more, shooting those shoulders over towards that right side. So again, lower spine, but the rest of your spine is reflecting that twist. Head goes with you. And then come back to the other side. Let's shift. Reach the arm up, pressing, lift. Feel that press as you twist. And then once you've got that arm all the way back there, we're going to put the hand down and we're going to press even some more. Trying to get the shoulders front and back. So you're sliding this front hand along that thigh. Nice stretch there. We're going to take that once more in each direction. So hand, brace, arm, lift, twist, arm goes down, slide, and push that front arm. So you're sliding and getting a little bit more of a twist there. Good. Coming back, let's take it to the other side. Hand, reach, lift, breathe. Feel that pressure as you push with that front arm. Hand comes down and back, and then twist. Really bringing the spine out, more or less. Good. And come back to neutral. Okay, we're going to increase that by taking our left foot, sliding it underneath, and then taking our right foot and putting it on what we would call the walk. We want this leg to be out. We don't want it to be up by that hip. And this hip may be up. That's fine. So we're going to sit up tall here. Hand comes down. Now we're going to take the right arm and bring it in. And we're bracing now the elbow and just above the elbow against the inside knee area. Once again, the other hand is behind. And this time we're going to press from there. And you may find that you can get a bit more of a twist. You may feel it in some different places. So we're just sort of exaggerating what we had started earlier with our legs both folded on the front. And then come back to your front position. Now we're going to take that other arm and place it on the outside of that thigh, just above the knee there. And back hand is on the floor and we're twisting from there. So again, we're getting this opening, this twisting action in the spine. Excellent. All right, now we're going to come to the front. We're going to wrap the elbow around that knee, lift the hip high off the floor so you're balancing on that bottom thigh area. Arm comes up. Now we're going to pull the knee into the chest as we try and push the hip down, which is going to give you a stretch in the glutes and in the upper thigh back area there. And the hip always wins, even though you're really pulling with that elbow, that knee into the chest. Good, and all the way down. And then from here, we're going to let the knee settle as best as it can. It's not going to be necessarily flat there. Still sitting up tall out of the hip bones. And this knee opens as you twist towards the foot. And we're going to roll our heads down, keeping both hips on the floor. And we're going to get into a stretch. And you're going to know where you're stretching as you go down into this position. Now let's take 4 deep breaths. Deep breath in. As we exhale, we're trying to shoot our arms out on that diagonal line, past the feet and the knees, keeping the opposite hip on the floor. This is a deep stretch. Again, deep breath in, exhale, and lower as best you can. 2 more. Deep breath in, exhale, and reach. Still getting that hip down on the floor, keeping it on the floor. And last time, deep breath in, and exhale and reach. So you're dropping over very gradually, increasing that stretch
in that hip, right hip. And then walk yourself up nice and gently, realign the spine. You're still on that diagonal orientation here. And then let's bring the legs out and help them to come to a forward position. And you will definitely feel a difference between the hips there. And you also will find that you've got quite a bit of mobility in that lower back, that whole spine area. So let's take it to the other side. We're going to bend that right leg underneath. Bring the left up and over onto the walk. And remember, you want to keep this open. We don't want that in tight. This hip is going to be off the floor. Okay, so let's take the arm around, bring it in so that you've got a brace right here, and then the other hand's behind, and we're twisting by pressing against this leg. Now we don't want that to collapse, we want to keep it on the walk. So we have some resistance there to be able to get into that twist all the way around. You might even start to feel this stretch and twist in the abdominals as well as the spine. Really opening up. Good. Coming back. We're going to come back to neutral. We're going to bring the other arm around. We're bracing it against the back of that leg. And the other hand's behind, shoulders down as we slide that hand and twist. So you can see the progression that we're getting in terms of being able to manipulate the spine in this twisted position here. We're increasing that spine's flexibility. Good. Come to the center. We're lifting this hip up. We're going to take the elbow and grip that knee there, and the other arm is out and backs are straight. And as we pull in towards the chest with that elbow, we're pushing our hips down. Hips are stronger than the arm. But you do get a chance to really feel that nice stretch through the glutes as you come down to your final position. Excellent. And then we're going to keep that leg working here. We can lift it up a little bit more, slide it over. This knee is not going to be flat and parallel to the floor. This hip is on the floor. Twist the upper body here. And now hands go down. We're going to roll down through our spine on this diagonal line as the hands go out on that diagonal line. Both hips are on the floor. You might find that your foot or some part of your leg starts to shake as it starts to open up and release any blocks or tightness in this area in that hip. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower the hands down and try to fold more from the hip flexors. Deep stretch. 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale and reach. Both hips are on the floor. 3rd breath. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Lengthen out. See how far over you can get. And last time. Deep breath in. And reach and exhale. Good. Rolling up through the spine by walking your hands up, and you come to a straight back on that diagonal line. And then come to center and help those legs once again to unfurl there. Let's just rock side to side a bit. That was a deep stretch. And then come back up to your parallel position, feet pointed position. And then let's lift our arms up and do a forward fold. Lift up and flat over, folding from the crease in the hips, and then rounding over and down. So now we're really putting our focus into the hamstrings. Heads are dropped. Shake that head no. Shake the heads yes. Let's repeat that once more. Shake the heads no. And shake the heads yes. Excellent. Okay, let's start taking some nice reaches here with arms like we did when we were in child's pose. So we're going to take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to reach that right hand out, keeping the shoulder down and feeling a pull with that hand to increase the stretch on that right side. And then release. Deep breath in. Exhale, let's reach with the left hand out. Maybe you get your hand solidly on the floor and you can pull and get the elbow down. So you're lowering your body, but you're also getting a stretch on the side body in the armpit and upper rib area. And then come back down. Let's take that again. Deep breath in.
As we exhale, reach the hand out and pull. See how much more you can get into a lowered position with your torso towards your legs. And then release. Let's take that once more on the other side. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach. Drop elbow, pull with the hand, folding from the crease in the hips. Good. Let the hands come down. Drop that head completely down. Maybe shake it out a little bit more. And notice what your position is with the torso towards the legs. Reach the hands out,
Come up and lift. Good. Shaking out a little bit. And we're going to take the same thing with the flex foot. So that will deepen the stretch in the hamstring. So let's flex our feet, get the divine flesh out from underneath us, lift the arms up, keeping the feet flexed and pressing out through the heels. We're going to go out and over on that diagonal position. And then continuing to fold from the hip flexors over,
heads go down, maintaining the flex. So yes, this is a deeper stretching on the hamstrings for sure. Once again, shake that head out. Let's shake the shoulders out and then rock a little bit on the hips, and you may find you can get a little farther over. Taking a deep breath in, we're going to start to the left side. Exhale, reach that left hand out and anchor the hand into the floor, drop the elbow down and pull. So you're folding over more, and you are definitely getting more of a stretch in the hamstrings. Good. Release that. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach the right hand out, elbow down, and pull. Good. And release. Make sure you're still breathing. Deep breath in. Reach the left out, pull. Notice where your torso is going to be moving towards the thighs there. How far down can that torso get? Head is loose. And release, and let's take it once more to the right. Deep breath in. Exhale, hold, and pull. Elbows down, shoulders are down. Deep stretch. Good. Release that. Once again, shake the head, shoulders, and hips, and then reach the arms out, lift, and up. Okay, that was quite a bit. Let's come back into a folded position here. Again, divine flesh is out from underneath you. We're trying to stack that spine up, so this is just a nice triangle there. And let's just work through the rib cage, the upper part of the spine, and out, and reach, and out. Push it out to the right, and left, and out, and out. Let's come back to neutral and go front and back. Chest forward, head will want to lift. And then press the chest back, head will want to drop a little bit. But we're really trying to isolate that rib cage area, that upper spine, because we've done so much work on the lower spine. Here we go. Isolating front, shoulders stay down, and back. Beautiful. And front, and back. Okay, come back to neutral. Let's work with the shoulders. Shoulder forward, up, back, and down. Other side, forward. Lift, back, repeat, right, forward, lift, back, and down, and forward, left, up, back, 2 more sets, and front, lift, back, and around, to the left, up, back, once more, and front, lift, back, and down, and forward, lift, back, and down. Good. And just sort of wiggle around a little bit. Hopefully this is opening up some more. We're going to take some circles with the rib cage. So we're going to go to the front, carry it over to the side. Because we've opened up the shoulders, you might find you can get pretty far back there with the help of your hands against your legs. Now to the back, around to the side. Good. And repeat to the front and right. Around to the back, and your head is going to reflect some of this. And side, going to the front, so your head wants to lift a little bit, and side, and to the back, and side. Let's take it once more, and around front, shoulders stay down, side, and to the back, and side. Let's come back to the front and reverse that whole thing, front, and side, out to the left, to the back, and around, and going to the front. Maybe you're really starting to exaggerate the circle and get a big range of motion.
Here's our third one coming up to the front and side. Beautiful. And back and side. Once more. And to the front and side and back and side. Come back to the front and then come to your neutral position and really feel what's happened, what's opened up in that area. Now we're going to go back to one of the things we did before. We're going to put the elbow down, reach this arm over, keeping this hip on the floor. Now we're going to exaggerate that lower side body stretch here by lifting the hip up as we inhale, and then we exhale and press that hip down and try to keep that hip on the floor. Now let's take this top arm. We're going to keep the weight on that elbow, but try and open up and arc to the back. So we're opening up the upper front part of the chest area. Good. Come back to neutral and reach over. Deep breath in, lift the hip up. Exhale, press it down. Feel that side body stretch. Now we're going to get the upper body stretch. Arm comes up, inhale. Exhale, arc, chest goes towards the ceiling. The head is going to go back a little bit. Hips are down. So again, we're getting a twisted stretch in the spine, but the upper part of the spine. Come upright. Bring the arm over. How far over are you? Are you a little farther over now? Lift in, up with that hip as you inhale. Exhale, press it down. Good. Arm comes up. Inhale. Exhale. Spinning the upper body to the back. So we're opening up there. And come up to neutral. Here's our last time. Bring that arm over. Deep breath in. As we lift that hip up. Exhale, press the hip down, really reaching over. Notice how far you've gotten. Feel that nice stretch on the side body. Arm up, inhale. Exhale, spinning the upper chest, the rib cage towards the ceiling as arm goes behind. Good. Coming up right. Excellent. Bring the arm over. Let's curve to the front, slide, and go to the other side. And go slow because we did a great deal of stretching on this side. Now we're trying to contract it. Here we go with this arm over. Keeping that arm over as the hip stays down so you feel that side body stretch. Here we go. Inhale, lift the hip up. Now press the hip down and open up so you feel that deep side body stretch. Excellent. The arm's going to come up. Inhale. Exhale, spinning the chest towards the ceiling. Now this first time that might feel like you can't get very far, making sure that both hips stay on the floor. Good. Coming upright. Bring the arm over to the side, trying to extend that stretch. Inhale. Hip goes up. Hip goes down as we reach out and lengthen. Good. Arm comes up. Inhale. Exhale. Open the chest towards the ceiling. It might feel a little better this second time. And you may be feeling stretches in the shoulder, collarbone area. Good. Coming upright. Bringing that arm over. Breath in as you lift the hip up. Exhale, press the hip down, lengthening. You should be really feeling like you're engaging more of that stretch there for your side body. And come up with the arm, inhale. Exhale, pressing with the elbow on the floor to help you spin and twist that upper part of the spine, opening it up. How far back can you get that arm and have the shoulders go with it? And come up right. Arm goes over last time. Deep breath in. Lift the hip up. Exhale, press that hip down. Deep stretch. Arm comes up. Inhale. Exhale, reaching to the back. Opening up, spinning that chest towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Coming up right. Go to the side. Feel that last stretch. And then roll to the front. And come up right. Okay, you really may feel like you opened up this whole area here. Let's come back up to our hands and knees. We're going to go into that supported position where the hands are right underneath the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. And we're going to add a little bit more to some of the work that we've been doing. So make sure you have a nice neutral position. You're holding on to the abs and your lower spine, the core, lifting that front leg up. We're going to rotate that leg out. Now, this is a bit intense. We're going to stretch that leg up and then bend it back in and try to open the knee even more. And stretch that leg up, maybe you're a little higher, and open as you bend the knee even more. And stretch that leg up. A lot of core work here happening. Good. Open that knee one more time. And stretch that leg up. Good. Come back to the bent position and open the knee. And come down. It's a lot of work. And push back into your child's pose. Let's roll up through that spine and move to the other side and repeat it to the other side. So you're going to feel that in your hips, but you may feel like the leg that we just worked with has a little more openness in the inside thigh. So we're supporting ourselves, we're holding on to the abdominals, lift the leg up, rotate it out. So now with that rotation, we're extending that leg. This first time that might feel you can't get very far in terms of rotating. Come back to your bent knee and open the knee even more. Breathe in. Exhale, stretch it out. And in. Once again, opening the knee up. Maybe you've gotten a little farther in an open position. Inhale, exhale, extend it. Muscles might be getting tired. Come back in. Breathe. Open that knee. And exhale and extend. Good. Come back into the knee. Open it up a little bit more if you can. Bring it down and push back into your child's pose. Heads are dropped. Breathe. That was a lot. And roll up through the spine. Excellent. Okay. Let's take a little stretch for that area that we were just working. So we're going to take that front knee, bring it in front of us, rotate it out, lower our bodies down, and slide the back knee out. So now we're stretching out that area, this glute area here, and trying to make it move in the opposite direction than we were doing with that leg up in the air. So let's lower down, bring the hands in front of you, and just drop the heads down as far as you can and shoot that back leg out. You're really trying to get it straight as you can. And you notice that you're getting a stretch right through here, this whole area. Let's take 4 deep breaths. Breath in, exhale, inch the hands out, and lower. Breathing in. Exhale, see if you can inch out a little bit more. You may come to a place where you really can't get farther. And again, deep breath in. Exhale, reach. And last time, deep breath in. And inch out, letting the head be nice and loose, shaking the head out, feeling that stretch. And then walking yourself up to an upright position. We're going to come upright. We're going to fold towards the back of the leg, back of the room here, and shift and replace the bent knee with the other leg and stretch the other one out behind and get back into that same position on the other side. You might have to adjust yourself a little bit to get there, but you're trying to make that back knee go all the way out. You can feel where you're getting that stretch right through here. So let's take a nice deep breath in, establish our positions here, feeling where we're getting that stretch, and then lower the arms out and down. Head in, exhale, reach the hands out, increasing that stretch. Second breath, inhale, exhale, and lengthen out through the hands. Feeling the increased stretch that you're giving that whole glute, upper thigh area in the back. Third breath, inhale, exhale, and reach. And last time, breath in, exhale, and extend those arms, elbows stay down, shoulders stay down, deepening this stretch. Good. Walking hands up, coming to an upright position. And then you can spin around and face front. Okay, let's just take our knees and bend them here and hands behind. And let's just layer the legs on top of each other and rock back and forth, which is going to sort of ease through that area we were just stretching, helping that lower back to help you integrate the stretch in the glutes. Good. And over. And let's take it once more. And stretch it over to the side and side. Excellent. Coming up right. Okay, let's get into some inside thigh work. So let's bring our legs up. We're going to open them out. You should feel like you're able to get into quite a bit of a side open position, given what we've just done with our hips. So again, the divine flesh is up from underneath us. We're going to take circles with our upper body, with our legs in this position, knees open. So we're going to roll our heads down towards our feet. Elbows are out, feeling the stretch that happens in that lower spine, but also the inside thighs. And then curving the body to the side, shoulders down, and you can slide your hands to your knees as you go to the back and around to the side. So we're just sort of having a stationary position as best we can with our legs and making our upper body go from that stationary position in some nice circles around. Again, letting that head be loose. So we really want to relax that head. The head is going to drop to the back and then over to the side and down. Last time, do this direction. Circle and to the back and to the side and down. Now in this position, let's take our hands and put them on the floor. And again, take 4 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, inching out, feeling the fold happening from the inside thigh there. And again, inhale, exhale. Hip flexors are folding. Repeat, inhale, exhale. Reach those hands out. Now it's the same kind of thing we were doing before. Your hands get some pressure on the floor, elbows are down, and you can pull to open up here. And last time, deep breath in, exhale, reach, elbow down, shoulders down, and pull. How far over can you get? Good. And then we're rolling up. You can slide the hands up and come to this upright position. And let's take those circles with the upper body, with the legs in this position to the left. So we're curling our heads down. You may find that you're getting a deeper position because of the fold that we just did. All the way to the back. It's really you're trying to really sort of relax into this. And then we have our heads down. If you want to close your eyes, you can do that. And circle to the left, around to the back. The hands slide however they need to help this upper torso do this circle. Drop it down and circle. And to the back and side. Last one. And drop it down. How far down are you getting? To the side. Beautiful. And to the back. And the side. Let's come back to the front one more time. Dropping over. Let's take that reach again. See if we can increase that for yourself. So we've got the fold from the hips there. The inside thighs are opening up. Deep breath in. As we exhale, we reach the hands out. And again, you can feel like those hands are pulling. Second breath, inhale. Exhale, reach and pull. Shoulders are down, elbows are down, deep opening. Breath in. Exhale, reach the hands out and pull. And last time, deep breath in. Exhale and reach. Heads might be all the way down to your toes. And then slide, rolling up through the spine, coming to an upright position. And let's bring the legs in. Good. Let the legs come out, beat the thighs out a little bit. And let's open the legs up. Divine flesh out from underneath, and let's do a little work through the ankles. So our feet are pointed and we're circling inside and outside. Repeat in and out. You might get some snap, crack, and pops in those ankles there. Let's take 2 more, so we have a total of 6 circling around. Good. Really opening up the ankles there. And then we're gonna reverse it. Think of the little toe as doing those circles, keeping the backs upright. Don't sag in that lower back. You still wanna feel those two bones in your derriere, your ischial tuberosities, commonly known as your sit bones. We've got two more, circling with those feet, and circle around. Good. Okay, coming up to a flex position, we're gonna rotate in. So now we have that inner rotation in the hips, and out, and in, and out. Good. And in, and out, and in, and out. Good. And shake those legs out. All right, let's move into a very wide second position. Now, all the work that we've been doing has been about opening up this whole area. Of course, other areas are getting involved too, but a lot of work in this core, lower back, hip region. So we're going to be in this wide position, feet are pointed, and we're going to roll this hip over. Now, if you need to, you can have bent knees, or you can have less of a wide position. But as you roll that hip over, we're opening this up. You may feel more of a stretch on the hamstring in front of you. And then rotate and come back to neutral. Let's take it to the other side. Roll it and twist it. Good. And open it. Press it out. Repeat once again. Feet are still pointed. Rolling. Keeping the back upright as best you can. And open, out, and roll it. And twist it, and come up, and open. Let's repeat that with flexed feet, which may change the dynamic for you some. So, keeping the press out through those hips, you're rolling. Now you're gonna find it, you can't roll the hip quite as much, but you're gonna get more of a stretch on the hamstring there, but you keep trying to roll that hip forward. Your foot goes flat on the floor there, and come up, and open, other side. Roll it, foot will go flat. You keep pressing through the hip there and pressing out through this heel. You'll find that it does feel different than when you have your feet pointed. And open, we have one more set in each direction. Roll the hip, foot goes flat. You might want to open up using your hands into more of a split position here. And roll it to the back. And let's come back to the center and roll to the other side. And again, you can see that I'm using my hands to lift my body up to get more into a split position to take advantage of what we've done with those hips. Good. Open and stay. Okay, we're going to bring our arms up and we're going to bring our arms out. And now with our legs in a flex position, we're going to bend the knees and bring our arms down. Lift the arms up, and now as the arms open, we're going to push through and point. Come back to flex. Bend. Lift the arms up. Push out and point. Take that again. Flex the foot. Bend. Lift up. Now both the arms and the feet are trying to work out and away, so we're opening up a little bit more. Last time, flex. Bend. Lift the arms up. Press out. Point. And reach. You may have felt like you moved forward with your hips a little bit. In this open position, hands down, let's take a forward fold. Keeping the legs where they are. Roll the head down. Sliding out as far as you can get. If you can get your head down towards the floor, please do that. I'm lifting my head up a little bit so I don't muffle my voice so much. Now we're going to do some rolls back up. So we're rolling through using the abdominals and come upright. Again, arms down, roll the head, slide out and reach. How far out can you get? Feet are working away from each other. Use the abdominals to roll up through the spine, lift and come up. Let's take that again. Roll, slide, push. Way out there, feel the legs working away from each other. So you're increasing this length that you're creating in the body here by this folding. And then lower backs, roll, come up. You're going to get a little inside thigh work there as you come up. And last time, roll, slide, reach, way out. Beautiful. And then engage the abdominals as you roll, lift, and come up. Right. Good. Let's bring the legs together and shake them out. Let's take one more hamstring stretch by going onto the floor. So here we go. We're gonna go to the side, backs are straight, and we're gonna roll through the spine, engaging the abdominals, all the way down, and then straighten the legs out. And just put your hands on your hips there and rock side to side. Done a lot of work. By putting your hands there, you kind of are helping the hips to feel more comforted. Okay, come to a neutral position. Feet are pointed, legs are parallel. Bringing that front leg in, knee to the chest. Grabbing hold of the foot, extend the lower leg up as the bottom leg is staying flat right where it is. And you may find you're really stretched out more than you normally are because of the work we've done. And come in, knee into the chest, anchor leg on the floor, stays where it is. Lift, extend, and reach. And again, 2 more. Knee into the chest. Breathe. Exhale. Lengthen. How far out can you get? Feet are still pointed on both legs. And last time, bend that knee into the chest. Beautiful. And extend, unfurling that leg. Way out there. Now both legs are going to flex out through the heel to increase that stretch. And push through and point. Repeat. Flex out. And push through and point. 2 more. Flex it out. Push through and point. And last time. Flex it out. Push through and point. Excellent. Fold that knee in. Let's take a little side route to the floor with that leg. We're going to open it up, other hands on the hip, and slide it so we're getting that opening there, which we've created through that whole hip area, down and come back to your parallel position. And then just rock the hips side to side. Come back to your parallel position, feet are pointed, back leg comes in. Feeling the ankle leg stay long. Pressing the knee into the chest, grabbing hold of the foot with the hand, lift it up and extend it out. Again, you may find that you're pretty stretched out today, given what we've been doing. And knee comes into the chest there. Good. And unfurl, roll, lift, and extend. Good. And third time, knee comes to the chest. Extend it out. Lengthen, lift, reach. Both feet are still pointed. How far can you make that leg go? And last time, knee into the chest and reach it up, unfurl it, lengthen it out, way out there. Beautiful. And here we go into that flex and push through and point. Flex the feet out so you're feeling the heels reaching away, trying to extend that reach. Push through and point. 2 more. Flex it out. Push through and point. And last time, flex it out, way out there. Push through and point. Pulling the knee towards you, the leg towards you, both legs are straight as they can get, and then bend that knee in, and we're going to take that little side detour. So we've got one hand on the hip there to anchor that hip, open that knee out, feeling the hip really rotating outwards, and come down and join the other leg. Good. And once again, let's rock those hips side to side. And then beat the thighs out. And let's take a foot drum. So you're really starting to relax that whole body. We did a lot of work. And release, and just let everything hang there. Good. Gently roll to the side here, knees bent. And get the spine straight, hands underneath. And once again, you can close your eyes and just allow the body to settle, relax. Feeling the muscles sort of hang loose. They've done their job. They're taking a vacation now. And then roll up so that your head is the last thing that comes up. You're not jarring that spine and coming to a sitting position. Let's come back into your position with the legs in that triangle shape, divine flashes out from underneath us. Just sort of internally check in. How does it feel? I assume it feels different than when you started, but hopefully you feel like things have elongated and your spine is taller and you have more breath going through your body. All right, let's finish out by breathing in as we bring our arms up, clasping the hands together, shoulders are down, hands come to the heart chakra. Thank you for joining me, and thank your body. Did a great, great job. Okay, enjoy. Have a great rest of the day.